let's continue discussing DOM in Angular. Angular has given a special class called as a renderer. Renderer is an Angular class that has lot of methods which when used manipulates DOM safely. And here are some of the methods, and these methods are exactly the same that you have used in JavaScript. If you have any idea of working on DOM using JavaScript, then I'm sure you are aware of these methods. If you come to the official website of Angular and Renderer2 Angular, you'll get the same methods. You see, it's an abstract class and you have all these methods. Create element, you can create an element, you can attach or append that element, you can remove the element. All these things will help you access DOM elements. And in Angular we need to use renderer class and create an object of renderer class, which again using di, and you can access all these methods. Once you can able to work with these methods, you can modify or do some changes to DOM. So in the coming session we'll see usage of these methods with some basic examples. So we'll use some of these methods from Renderer2 and create or do some manipulation on DOM. Initially I begin with no element at all, so I'll be removing a reference to all these. Nothing initially, I don't even need this component to reference, nothing required. Now to begin with, I need a basic tag like div, which you don't see coming on HTML for the moment. When I say localhost, you see nothing on the browser, and when I do the inspect element, nothing in console as well. Now I'll have an alias name given to this, or let us take up a UL and we'll attach alias, and I say the alias name as UL alias. Save it. Nothing as of now. And in the TypeScript I need renderer, so I say private renderer of type renderer2. Okay, and how do I get this UL into TypeScript? I can use viewChild, and you say UL alias. Mind, this name should be exactly the same given over here, and then you can have the reference name anything, but let us have similar one, UL alias of type element ref. Okay, and whenever it's viewChild, the recommended lifecycle is after view init. ng after view init is a lifecycle hook. In this, let us have a variable like li element equal to, I say this dot renderer dot, we have methods like create element, in which if I say li, let's see what we get to see on screen. So I can use const keyword. Now I'll have a console log and say li element. Let's see what this prints on screen, the console. See, I have an li element created. Now similar to this, I'll have another const li text equal to this dot renderer dot create text, in which I'll say text1 and I'll save it. Now I'll try to attach this text to the li element, which means I need to have some text in between this open and closing tags of li. For that, what I need to do is I'll say this dot renderer dot append child is another method in which I'll pass the li element and the li text. Now if you see the console log of li element, you see I have element created, but some kind of error is what I ended up. No, I think everything's fine. Let's see the console. Okay, no issues. Disconnected from the page. Once page is reloaded, DevTools will automatically reconnect. Why is this change? Let's see. Let's continue if we get this error once again. But I have an li element created and I have some text and I can display it on the console, but how can I get that on to the DOM, attach it to the DOM and to the browser? And that's possible using something called as, again, append child is what I'll be using, but for that I'll say this dot renderer dot append child, and in this I'll pass this dot ul alias native element and li element. Now this newly created element I'm trying to append to this ul element as a child. Now if I save it, let's see what the output would be. You see, text1 has come. So this is how you can create an element, append that element to the existing HTML element. Therefore you can see this newly element created being attached to DOM. Let's continue with the last example, in which we have created this li element and attach it to DOM. What we'll do is we'll have li element already created in HTML, and I say text1 and I'll have text3. Now I'll create a new element dynamically using TypeScript and renderer class, and I'll create li text2 and attach that in between 1 and 3. Therefore, now I save this. If you see, so I remove all this for now. I'll simply comment all this, and so this is the current output. I have 1 and 3, and I'll use this renderer class and create text2 and attach that in between 1 and 3 elements. So let's continue. I'll be removing all this again and get started from the beginning. So you need ul alias. You are getting this one into TypeScript, and I need renderer instance, and in ng after view init I'll be creating where element const li element equal to this dot renderer dot, I create a new element again of type li, and similar to the last one, I'll say const li text equal to this dot renderer dot create text, and I'll say text 2. Now this text can be attached to li element. For that I say this dot renderer dot append child, and this I treat it as child and I want this to be appended to li. So you say li element comma li text. Now if you do the console log, you will see console log of li element. You see an element getting created in DOM in the console, text 2. Okay, now that's fine. Now again, to get this one attached to DOM, I need to have the existing elements. So let me get this dot ul alias dot native element, and I'll assign it to a const variable like, and I'll call it as parent element, and I can see what parent element is when I do console log. So my parent element currently holds ul. You see, this is the parent and these two are child elements. So I got the parent. Continuing with the same thing, I'll now use const child element equal to this dot ul alias dot native element dot children of 0 or 1. Let us say 0, and I'll say console log child element. So before I save this, let's see the previous output. These two are the child elements, and this is the 0th one, this is the first one. Now if I save it, you see the child element text 1 coming in console. Child element holds text 1. Save it and see text 1. Now I got the first child. I can also get 0th child and first child. Now I'm getting the first child, which is text 3. Now finally, once I have all this information, then I'll do this dot renderer dot, I have the method insert before. With this I'm trying to insert before 3. 2 is supposed to be inserted before 3. That's the same thing I'm trying to do using before method, insert before method. And here I'll be passing 3 parameters. If you can see, it takes parent, new child and the reference child, the existing child node, the new child and the parent node. So I'll pass parent element comma li element comma the child element. Now if you see the output of this, you see text 2 coming in between 1 and 3. So this method insert before does the insertion of a new element before the existing element, and to perform all this I need the parent of this entire elements. So we were able to create elements and attach them to DOM. We can also successfully create an element and insert it before a given element. Let us continue using the same example and we'll delete an existing element. So if I comment all this out, I'll be left with only 1 and 3, which is fine. I'll be removing removing one element. To that, what I need to do is using the same thing, like I say this dot ul alias dot native element dot children. If I say 1, you know what we get. Let us console log and see it once again. You get 3, text 3. Now this particular thing, if I pass it as an argument to this dot renderer dot remove child, it takes 2 arguments, okay, and I need the parent as well, and I'll uncomment this and I'll pass parent element. Now if I save it, and the output would be 1. So I'm able to delete the first element. If I pass 0, I'll be deleting the 0th element. So these are the basic DOM operations that can be performed in Angular using renderer class. And if you are aware of JavaScript, then I'm sure you know all these methods and the usage, the way we use them in JavaScript as well. The concept remains the same, but the usage or the way we are using them has changed a bit when compared with JavaScript and Angular.